Our Wendy's Male High School Athlete of the Week this week, a junior wrestler for the Shawnee Heights Thunderbirds. He is headed to the state tournament after a second-place finish at Substate this past week. His name is Preston Hartman. And Preston, let's just go back to this most recent event at Substate this past week. You finished in second place, a tremendous finish with so many talented wrestlers in Class 5A. What was working so well for you at Substate?
My first match, he was a pretty tough kid out of Blue Valley Southwest. We went all 3 periods. He definitely hung with me. But in the finals match, I was going up against number 1 kid in the state. So, of course, I went out there and tried my best. But I didn't really expect too much out of the match. Of course, I'm going to go out there and try as hard as I can. But he's number 1 for a reason.
Do you feed off that energy a little bit when you're going up against someone who is highly ranked or has a good record or whatever it might be? Do you take a little extra energy from that, maybe a little motivation being the underdog?
I definitely do. I've had major wins being the underdog in many situations. I've never really let rankings or records, kind of get in the way of the vibes before the match and everything like that, because I've had many wins that many people thought, I'm not going to win this match. So I always go out there and give it my all, but I also be real too and don't expect too much against those high ranked kids. But rankings, again, they don't really mean nothing.
I'm always fascinated by the mindset going into wrestling because obviously it's such a physical sport, but also there's such a strong mental aspect to it too. What would you say is, generally speaking, your mindset going into a big match?
I'm just ready to go to war, really. That anything can happen. Anybody's beatable. So I'm just ready to go to war whenever I step out on the mat.
We're talking to Preston Hartman, a junior wrestler for Shawnee Heights. He is our Wendy's High School Male Athlete of the Week. Let's go back a little bit, Preston, over the course of your season. Up to this point, your record 35-6 this year after Substate. Obviously a tremendous junior season for you. When you go back and you look at the start of the year and maybe the goals you set for yourself for your junior season, do you feel like, aside from accomplishing something at state, obviously, you've accomplished a lot of your season goals so far?
Definitely. I'm doing way better this year than I was last year. I'm wrestling healthy this year at 182, as to where last year at 152, I was cutting quite a bit of weight. So I definitely feel like I've been doing better this year, achieving the goals that I've set for myself and team.
When you talk about going from one weight class to another, and that's a pretty steep move from 152 to where you are now, was that a decision you made on your own? Was that sort of a collaborative thing with your coaching staff? How did that decision come into play?
Really, after a whole season of cutting weight like I did, I knew that I did not want to do that again. So my plan in the off season last summer was to just get as big as I possibly can, and then wrestle at whatever weight class that is. And I ended up getting up to 182, and I'm definitely feeling better wrestling 82 than ever.
We're talking to Preston Hartman, a junior wrestler for Shawnee Heights. He is our Wendy's High School Male Athlete of the Week. Let's talk a little bit about team success, because Shawnee Heights as a team, obviously you guys having a tremendous season overall, a great showing at Substate, not just you, but your teammates as well. What has been maybe the most standout thing that has been excellent about your program? When you think we have been good because of this, what would this be?
It definitely goes back to thanking the coaches, and I really think that just everybody individually on the team has amazing work ethic, and everybody lives for the grind on the team. We come out there, everybody's a hammer, and everybody works for everything that they got.
Looking ahead now to the state tournament, what is maybe your expectation coming up for state? You were talking about being realistic, but still being willing to go to war anytime you have a match. What is going through your mind as you prepare for the state tournament?
Obviously, the main goal is to get that state title. That's always been a goal, is to become a state champion ever since I was a little kid. But in the semis, I'll definitely have a pretty hard match against second-ranked kid. But of course, you have to take each match by itself. So, anything could happen in the consolation match first round. But I'm definitely, the main goal is just to become a state champion.
Looking fairly far ahead here, and I know we want to focus on the state tournament, of course, but as you look into your senior year and even beyond your senior year, is wrestling something you hope to keep doing once you leave Shawnee Heights in a couple seasons?
It's definitely something I've been thinking about. Yes, about taking it to the collegiate level and everything like that. So.
Well, what's on his plate in the immediate future is the state tournament. Preston Hartman is our male high school athlete of the week, brought to you by Wendy's, a junior wrestler for Shawnee Heights, finished second place at the 182-pound mark at Substate this past week. Preston, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate the time, and good luck coming up at the state tournament.
Of course, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me.